Hi students, I am Nimisha and I will be teaching you electricity. Now before we understand something about electricity, let's understand a simple thing about water. This is a river. Water is flowing. Now what is there? What is the river made up of? River is made up of water molecules. These water molecules are flowing. So, when the flow is too much, what do we say? There is a high current of water. Be careful. That means the water is flowing with very more force. So, you say there is a high current of water. Be careful. That means these water molecules are in motion. It's flowing. So, now let us bring this to electricity. Electricity is made up of something called charges. First of all, what electricity? This room has light. This board has light. It's all coming because of electricity. Your fan is running. It's because of electricity. Today we use electricity everywhere. You're watching this video on your phone, on the laptop. You're using electricity. So now electricity is so important. It has become such an important part of our lives. What is it made up of? How does it come? Electricity is made up of charges. That means water here, the river is constituted of water molecules. It is made up of water molecules. Electricity is made up of something called charges. So charges, that means charges constitute electricity. That means charges make up electricity. So these charges over here are there. Now these are charges. When these charges begin to flow, then there's something called as current or electricity. Current and electricity, interchangeable words. So when these charges begin to flow, you get current or electricity. How do they flow? How much current do I get? What is it? We will understand slowly. So the first point that we need to understand is charges constitute electricity. Next, what is this charge? From where do I find this charge? Should I go buy it, then put it in my wire and I get current? No. Charges are nothing but protons and electrons. So in your nucleus, in an atom you have a nucleus and you have shells around it. Inside the nucleus you have protons. On the shells you have electrons. So every atom constitutes of charges. It has charges in them. These are P is the proton, E is the electron. So what are charges made up of? The fundamental particles of a charge is proton and electron. Fundamental meaning most important, most basic and important form of a charge is proton and electron. Protons are considered as positive charge, electrons are considered as negative charge. Now, if you want to represent charge, symbol of charge is just Q. If you write the word Q in your problems or while doing the derivation, it means you're referring to charge. What is the SI unit of charge? When I talk about water, how do you measure water? 1 liter water, 2 liter water. So liter, you are measuring it in liters. So how do you measure charge? The unit or the SI unit of charge is known as Coulomb. The symbol of Coulomb is C. The symbol of Coulomb is C. What is the symbol C? Now if you tell water is 5 liters, you will write 5L. L is the symbol of liter. So what is the symbol of charge if you want to say how much charge is here? Q is equal to, that means the charge is equal to 3 Coulomb. Understand? Water, volume of water is 5 liters. Volume is 5 liters. Charge is 3 Coulomb. I hope you understood when to use Q, when to use C. Next, I told you that the charge's most fundamental particles are protons and electrons. If you take one proton, how much charge does one proton bring to the table? That means it's like saying if I take this one water molecule and I bring it out, how many liters is it? Is it 0.001 liter? Is it 10 ml? How much is that one constituent particle? So if I take one proton has a charge of plus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb, and one electron has a charge of minus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Plus and minus is only to tell you that they are opposite of each other. Proton and electrons are opposites of each other. Both of them constitute 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb of charge. Next topic, properties of charges. Like charges and unlike charges. What happens? What do they mean by like and unlike? In magnets, you'll all know if I take a north pole and a north pole, they're like poles, they're same poles. They repel. That means they move away. If I bring north pole and south pole together, they're opposite poles or unlike poles. What happens? They attract. So, just like that, like charges repel, unlike charges attract. Example, proton and proton, will it attract or repel? Proton, same, like, repel. Electron, same, like, repel. Proton, electron, unlike, attract. Next point, charge is conserved. You'll all know energy is conserved. What is the meaning of energy is conserved? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another. We are learning this from our 7th grade, or maybe in some syllabuses 6th grade. So what is the meaning of charge is conserved? You and I or anybody else cannot create charges. Can you make proton and electron? Come on, make proton. What is the recipe? Nobody can make proton and electron. Charge is conserved. It cannot be created. So you cannot create charge. Charge can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred from one body to another. If I have a body here with many atoms and I have let's say electrons inside, and I have another body here, I can take this electron from here and put it here. I can transfer it from one body to another body. But can I make another electron? Come on, electron, go put here. No, you can only transfer it. So charge is conserved. It can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be transferred from one body to another. Charge is quantized. So I'm transferring one more electron. Can I transfer half electron? Like only 0.5 electron or quarter electron? Come on, break it and transfer. No, you have to transfer the full electron, or take the full electron, or full proton, or take the full proton. It is quantized. The quantity is fixed. It is one quantity. You will be playing and transferring only quantities. It is quantized. This is given by Q is equal to N into E. Q equals N into E means the charge is equal to N. N is the number of electrons you are transferring. You are transferring 1 electron, 2 electrons. N is an integer. Plus 1 electron, 2 electrons. It's actually a positive integer. Why? Because you cannot transfer minus 1 electrons. Can you transfer negative? No. So you will be transferring 1 electron. It is given by Q is equal to N into E, meaning N is only an integer, plus or minus 1 or whatever. What is E? Value of E is always 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. So, if you are transferring an electron, see, you are transferring electron from here to here. What will be the value of N? 1 electron. One more electron, 2 electrons. So N is the integer. It can be 1, 2, 3 or anything. So we will come to this, we will do a problem and you will understand in detail. Next, the total charge on a body. What is the total charge on the body? If I have +1 + 1 -2 -1 + 1 and one more, let's say +2. What is the total charge on the body? If I add all these coulombs, 2 + 1 + 1, 4, + 1, 5, -2 -1, +2. So the total charge on the body is +2 coulomb. So how did you get it? You just added everything. So total charge on the body is the algebraic sum. Algebraic means normal addition subtraction. Just add it. Is the algebraic sum of all the charges in the body. I repeat, total charge of the body is the algebraic sum, add all this, of all charges in the body. These are the 4 properties of charges. Next, number of electrons that constitute 1 coulomb. That means in 1 coulomb charge, how many electrons should be there? It's like saying in 1 liter water, how many water molecules should be there? Just like that. In 1 coulomb charge, how many electrons are there? How do we do this? So now see, they have given that the total charge is 1 coulomb. We know that Q is equal to N into E. What is E? The value of E is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. We will come, now next question is someone might ask, why are we not putting plus or minus for the charge? Why are we not saying minus or why are we saying plus? While calculating, see, if you take the electron, if you take it as electron, it's negative, then this should be -1. If you take it as positive, it's +1. So while calculating, answer will not change, only sign will change. You take proton, proton, you'll get plus, plus. Minus, minus, you'll get minus, minus. So since they have given positive, we will consider this also to be positive. Do not get confused that, oh, electron is negative, I have not taken negative sign. No problem. In such questions, they do not make major differences. Q is equal to N into E. 1 is equal to N into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. This 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 will come down. 1 by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 is equal to N. How do we do this? You'll know how to divide. So I will multiply and divide with 10 because I don't want this decimal. So now what happens? N is equal to 10 by 16 into 10 power minus 19. Send the minus 19 on top. 10 by 16 into 10 power 19. 2 5s are 2 8s are. Divide 5 by 8 everybody. Do the division. You will get 0.625 into 10 power 19. From now on we will learn a new thing. Whenever we represent such big numbers, 10 power something, we will always put the decimal after the first non-zero digit. This is a 0 digit. This is non-zero digit. So we'll put the decimal after the first non-zero digit. This is called scientific notation. That means your decimal is after the first non-zero digit. So what am I doing here? I am transferring this. So I'm using one of the 10. So what will happen? 6.25 into 10 power 18 is the answer. That means you need 6.25 into 10 power 18 electrons to constitute 1 coulomb of charge. What is this number? 6250000000000. Still so many zeros are there. You will get almost about 16 zeros there. That many zeros, that many electrons you need to just get 1 coulomb of charge. So many electrons. So we need 6.25 into 10 power 18 electrons to constitute 1 coulomb of charge. So now let us understand the definition of current. We know that current is related to charge. So can I say more the charge, more the current possible? Yes, just like how more the water molecules, more current is possible. So they are directly proportional. Directly proportional means if one quantity is more, the other will also be more. So if Q is more, I is also more. Now, what about the time? If these molecules flow, in 1 second all of them come down, shush. Now if these molecules flow slowly, it will take 5 seconds to come down, slowly it is flowing. This one goes fast, slowly it is flowing. Who will have more current? In which river will you say there is more current? You will say there is more current in this river. That means current is more when time is 1 second and 5 seconds. 1 second less. When time is less. If one quantity is more and the other quantity is less, they are called inversely proportional. So you will say current is inversely proportional to time. So first point, current is directly proportional to charge. That means more the charge, more the current. Next, current is inversely proportional to time, meaning lesser the time, more the current. So I can therefore say I is equal to Q by T. I hope you agree. Come now. I is equal to Q by T. How do we define it? You all have learned the definition of velocity. Velocity is displacement by time. What do you say? Velocity is defined as the rate of displacement. You say rate of displacement. This is nothing but d by t or 1 by t into d. 1 by t in physics is known as rate. Rate of displacement. Just like that, 1 by t here is rate. So it is the rate of charge, but it has to be flowing. If it is standing simply there, it is not current. So the definition is electric current is defined as the rate of flow of charge. I hope it's clear. Rate refers to the 1 by t. The SI unit of current is known as ampere. You measure current in terms of ampere. The symbol of current is I. Ampere. The symbol of ampere is A. So if you say how much current is there? Current is 5 amperes. That is the meaning. The other units of current. There are few other units of current that we commonly use. One is 1 milliampere. So milliampere means what? 1 milliampere is equal to dash amperes. We will check. Next you have microampere. Symbol is like this one. It's like U, but the symbol is a Greek letter mu. It's called. So mu A. How many amperes? Let's understand this. For those who do not know, deci means 1 by 10 or 10 power minus 1. For those who do not know, deci means 1 deci means 1 by 10 or 10 power minus 1. 1 milli means 1 by 100 or 1 by 1000 or 10 power minus 3. Next we have micro. Micro means 10 power minus 6. Then we have nano, which is 10 power minus 9. These are few commonly used quantities. Then we already know a few things in plus. Kilo. Kilo means what? 10 power plus 3. That's why 1 kg is, K means 10 power 3. 10 power 3, keep the G as it is. 10 power 3 is 1000 grams. Don't we know? 1 kg is 1000 grams. Okay, so 1 kilo is 10 power 3. Next you have 1 mega. Mega means 10 power plus 6. Next you have giga. 10 power plus 9. You all have using your phones. You say how big is this song? It is 3 MB. M referring to mega. Giga. You buy, you see the memory. What is the memory? 6 GB, 8 GB, giga. So you have different short symbols for these. For deci, it's just D. Milli, it's M. Micro is mu. Nano is small n. Kilo is small k. Mega is capital M. Giga is capital G. These are the general notations. It is nothing to do with physics or math. This is what it means. So please take this down. So now 1 milliamperes, how many amperes? Milli means 10 power minus 3. So 1 milliamperes is 10 power minus 3 amperes. 1 microampere. Micro means 10 power minus 6. So in the place of micro, put 10 power minus 6. I hope this is clear. Now let's define 1 ampere of current. This question can be asked directly as define 1 ampere or what is the unit of current and hence define it. So we know I is equal to Q by T. Before we go to understand the definition, let us understand something about current. If this is a wire, electrons are going to be flowing or the charge is going to be flowing like this. So now if this is the wire, at any point if I cut it, I will get another circle and a wire. Do you agree? Current will still flow. So this circle through which the charges are flowing, every point is a circle and charges are flowing. That circle is called the cross section of the wire. That section is called the cross section. So at every point, the electron is flowing through a cross section, new cross section, new cross section, new cross section. So how do we define current? 1 ampere current. If I make all this 1 is equal to 1 by 1. Do you agree? So current 1 ampere, Q 1 coulomb, time 1 second. Listen carefully. So when the charge is 1 coulomb, that means if 1 coulomb of charge is flowing through what? Through a cross section of a wire. It's always flowing through a cross section. When 1 coulomb of charge is flowing through a cross section of wire in 1 second, then the current is said to be 1 ampere. This is the definition of the unit of current. And I'm telling you again, please keep the notes with you so you can simultaneously see, verify and understand. Now let us understand what is an electric circuit. If I have a battery here, you all have seen a battery. If I connect it to a bulb and I leave it here, will the bulb on? No. But if I now complete the path like this, will the bulb on? No. So I now close it. Now will the bulb on? Yes. So what we understand by this is, for current to flow, my path has to be closed. 1. 2. It has to be continuous. You can't break it wherever you want. Here you can't break. So you have to, it has to be a continuous closed path. Then only current can flow. So this is itself called electric circuit. So what is the definition of electric circuit? Electric circuit is defined as a continuous closed path through which the current can flow. How it flows, why it flows, we'll understand as we go through the chapter. I hope the definition is clear. Now what all does an electric circuit consist? It consists of many things. It can consist of a bulb, a battery, a switch. We have something called voltmeter, ammeter. We will learn that as we go. You'll be familiar. Now we have next something called as a ammeter. What is an ammeter? Now we understood that we want to measure current, how much current is there. Now how to do it? How do we measure the current? What to use? The device used to measure current is called an ammeter. The symbol is given as put a circle, put an A in between. It has signs plus and minus. Why, where do we connect? We will learn it later. So an ammeter is a device used to measure current, and this is the symbol of an ammeter. How to connect it in the circuit? Where should we put it? That again we will learn a little later. Example 12.1 from the textbook. A current of 0.5 amperes. So the current is 0.5 amperes. A current of 0.5 amperes is drawn by a filament of an electric bulb. That means an electric bulb is taking 0.5 amperes for 10 minutes. Find the amount of electric charge that flows through the circuit. You have to find Q. Do everything in SI units always. The time given is 10 minutes. SI unit of time is seconds. So convert it to seconds. 10 into 60, 600 seconds. We know that I is equal to Q by T. What is I? 0.5. Q, we don't know. T, 600. What is Q now? 0.5 into 600. If you multiply this, you will get 300. What is the unit of Q? Coulomb. So 300 coulomb. Page 200 questions. What does an electric circuit mean? We just defined electric circuit. It is a closed continuous path through which the current flows. Define the unit of current. We again saw define unit of current is definition of 1 ampere, already done. Calculate the number of electrons constituting 1 coulomb of charge. How many electrons are there in 1 coulomb of charge? We did that too. What was the answer? We found out that N is equal to 6.25 into 10 power 18.